A very good evening to all our viewers. Thank you for joining us again tonight on the evening review. My name is Toiwan Jabela. Tonight on the platform, we are joined by Nudo, Member of Parliament, Vetaruhe Kandorozu. He is, at the moment, in the eye of a storm regarding remarks that he made in Parliament last week. And we invited him to help us reflect on those views. Thank you very much, Honorable, for coming to the platform.
Thank you, Tiwa, for having me, for inviting me to join you.
Yeah, wonderful. Why did you subject Dino Ballotti to racist remarks last week?
I don't think it was actually racist, because it was a by-the-way remarks. Yeah. Because it came from the behavior of Dino. You know, the previous day, he was calling Honorable Amupanda that come so that I can beat him. But nobody was concerned about that behavior, that conduct of Ballotti in Parliament. And then the following day that I did the remark, he was also disturbing the leader of the official opposition when he was addressing the nation on the budget, the appropriation bill. So, and then he walked out like a protest walkout. So I just sent him off by saying, okay, you can go, but go back to Italy. So that was it, just to pull his leg. He's a man. Yeah. But then, of course, it was taken out of context. Yeah. And unfortunately, many people did not took it light. Yeah. It was regarded as racial. And at times, you need also to substantiate why did you say that. Yeah, yeah. And maybe that's why the storm went on air and nobody could put it down rather than myself.
Yeah. Apart from that, Honorable Kandorozu, there was also, because a lot of remarks then, I mean, there was a bit of chaos and a lot of remarks were made, and then you continued to say, for example, that white people cannot be Namibian or something to that effect. What did you mean by that?
Yeah, white people are actually not Namibian. They are actually not African.
What do you mean they're not Namibian?
Yeah, they are intruders. They just came with the intention as settlers, because Europe was already overcrowding. Yeah. So after the Berlin Conference, or even before that, after they got the report that there is an open area, there is an opportunity, there is minerals in Africa. Yeah. That's why they organized the Berlin Conference, to decide now how to conquer Africa. Yeah. So that's why they came here. They came with the intention, and then their generation end up being African or being Namibian in our case. However, the same happened in 17th century, 18th centuries with slave trade. Yeah. However, people that have been in America, in Europe for years, they are still being called Black African, African American, Negro, Afro. So they have quite a number of names. They have been referred to their roots. Yeah. But however, in Africa, we don't have European African. We call them either they are Zambian, they are Zimbabwean, they are South African, they are Namibian. Yeah. So that shows how we have been oppressed by not being able to refer the person to his origin. Yeah. Because he's an oppressor. We prayed to him, we were kneeling down on them because of what they did to us, so we are afraid to refer them. But there's nothing wrong to be referred, like, Toes, you are a banja. Do you have a problem with that? No, you don't have a problem. Yes.
But that is different.
How will it different?
No,
how is it different?
No, that is actually miles apart, because I mean, between you today, my chief, you and Dino Ballotti, you are both Namibian head to head. There's not even anything that makes you more Namibian than Dino Ballotti or any other white person in the country. If they are Namibian, if they were born and bred here, just like you.
There is. There is. Let me tell you, if war broke out here in Namibia, Dino will be evacuated by the embassy of Italy.
No, you will not.
I'm telling you.
He's a Namibian citizen.
No. He has a dual citizenship with Italy. He will take his children, the wife and everybody, and be evacuated to Italy. Who will evacuate Vetaruhe? I will remain here and die here. There is no evacuation plan for Vetaruhe, but for him there is.
No.
How many times have he visited Italy? You don't know, but there are so many times he visited. But Vetaruhe never visited any other foreign country for holiday, for pleasure, to visit another family.
No, my brother, when you, in March last year, it must have been on the 22nd of March last year, or even the 21st, when you guys were sworn in Parliament, you put up your hand. You said you swore to uphold the Namibian Constitution at all material times, and one of the provisions of that very sacred document is that racial discrimination is illegal, is unconstitutional in this country. When you say Italian boy, maybe that element can be understood. But when you go on, when you double down and say, look, white Namibians, there are no white Namibians, that from a member of parliament.
It's not necessary from a member of parliament. It's a reality. I did that on the 20th of March.
Yeah, even
last year when I was sworn in as a member of parliament. But after that, the same constitution, it gives the National Statistics Agency the right to count me as a Herero and to count you as a Banja and to count another person as a Kavango and to count somebody else as a European or something else. That information have been publicized, but it was never criticized. It was a tribal allocations of numbers. You understand? So to refer in any way by saying you are from that background, it's a historical background, is your origin, is who you are. But I did not say in a defamatory way. It's just to refer him that he's from there.
No, the context, Vetaruhe,
yes.
the context is different. It's not like you guys were just at a social place in a bar and having a good time and there's a virishe and you say, show me, you Mbaja guy, show me how you guys dance in Nokalongo to this kind of songs. It was a heated moment. If tables were turned, and this is what I wrote in my editorial last week, if tables were turned, in that heat of the moment, Ballotti says to you, you Herero man, or you black man, we will never have seen the end of that. You would have gone beyond parliament and say, no, my dignity, my whatever, especially by a white man, because white people, we also know the history, it would have been different. But somehow, for Vetaruhe, we must just say, no, it was just,
I think we need, sometimes truth is truth. It cannot be turned into something else, whether we want it or not. I did not create Italy or Europe or America. It's not me. But I'll have a problem, and we all have a problem. What happened at Deutsche Operschule, DHPS, where kids were calling one another or each other kafir.
Yes, and there was a storm.
It was a storm. It was a storm because kafir, it was created by a human to refer to another human.
Yes, but
when a white man say you are a monkey,
we are outraged.
We are definitely.
But when
so
Vetaruhe says,
yes.
But when Vetaruhe says white people are not, look, you have, because I think what we tend to forget also is that we confine ourselves to Namibia and forget in those moments that you have your cousins abroad, friends of yours, who live in the UK, the USA, Canada, and all these places, and I do too. If they were subjected to that, they will be, you will not be happy.
They have been subjected on daily basis. And even with those with permanent residence.
Yes.
When they come at the airport, yes, with United Kingdom passport,
yes,
they are still being asked, where are you from? Not like, where did you travel to?
Yeah.
You're from Namibia. Then he will have to answer, from Namibia, from where? They have been subjected to. But some of these issues are boiled down by segregation, are boiled down by trauma. You know that my mother traumas have been passed on to me.
Yeah.
For you who did not lost land, for you who did not experience genocide, you won't feel the same way I feel today, yeah, when I see any white man.
Yeah, the land was not taken by Italians.
No,
the genocide was not.
No, that's wrong perception. Let me tell you, you've been to Waterberg Plateau.
Yes.
When you turn from Okakarara T Junction, yeah, on your left, you drive around about 7 or 8 kilometers. Yeah. There is a farm with different flags. There's like a small cave there. That farm on your left, when you are going to Waterberg, yeah, is owned by an Italian. It's more than 10,000 hectares. And that Italian guy is an absentee landlord. Yeah. He only comes here for holiday, for trophy hunting. Yeah. But as I'm sitting here, I don't have land.
I get that.
I have people in informal settlement in Okakarara, in Vetflay, in Hopapes, in Oshiwarongo, in Windhoek, that's supposed to stay there. So I cannot exonerate any white person that they did not take land here. Yeah. There was an advantage for them because they had the administration then, so they could divide for them the land. Do you know what happened in 1941 yeah, when the National Party of South Africa took over the government? They brought all poor white people yeah, and redistributed the land to them and provided subsidy. So you cannot exonerate any white person that they did not take land. So there are those factors yeah, that are beyond any visual setup, yeah, but that can be felt by me and the other victims.
No, but if somebody started brushing or painting all black people or all Herero-speaking people with the same brush, for any crime that a particular Herero person or black person has committed, you wouldn't be happy. You would be like, why? I'm a model citizen. I behave in a particular way, and the behaviors of others cannot be bounced off me. But we'll address that point when we come back. We are shortly going for a break and return with Mr. Vetaruhe Kandorozu. We continue the conversation with lawmaker Vetaruhe Kandorozu. Now, to my previous question, would you take the burden of some black person who did something and then people say, yeah, we are all the same? Because Dino Ballotti, I don't think he has anything to do with that farm that was mentioned. And he certainly did not commit any genocide against anyone.
Dino Ballotti as an individual
Yes.
is very innocent, and I'm really I'm apologizing even officially and to the whole nation that I have to say that to Dino Ballotti. But my utterance have been driven by his behavior.
Yeah.
So sometimes he must carry the punch on behalf of the others, as much as I will carry the punch on behalf of my fellow black people in Africa. Mistreatment that I will get at the airport of Germany as a black people, where we'll only being identified by the security guards at the airport when I'm moving in the corridor with other passengers, white passengers. The security guards, they will only call me and take my passport to check where I'm from and how did I get the visa and all these type of things. Yeah. While whites that we have been traveling with from Namibia, they will pass through. So I'm carrying that punch on behalf of other black people. So I'm trying to answer your question. So I've been carrying the punch on behalf of other black people. I've been victimized. I have been excluded by the system, driven by the white people. Yeah. But there's no a white system that has excluded Ballotti as an individual. Ballotti will benefit from white privilege. You understand? I will not benefit from white privilege.
No, but now the tables have turned. There are provisions in place right now where if you and Dino were competing for certain opportunities today, you stand 70% maybe or whatever percent better chance of getting that opportunity than him, because we have redesigned things in order to rectify that.
Have we redesigned things?
We have redesigned things.
We haven't.
The policies are there.
We haven't.
Employment are there. Affirmative action policies are there.
The economy is still in the hands of the white people.
No, I get
we
that.
We are not economic independence.
I get that.
Yes. So Dino Ballotti will have leverage above me when it comes to economic independence, when it comes to opportunities, when it comes to anything that have to benefit me or him. He will always have a leverage above me based on the color.
What did you say about Steinert Steenkamp, who is a fellow black person like yourself?
I said nothing. I don't know where did she come in? I feel really sorry for her, because Toivo, my first son is from a colored, from a bastard. I graduated my grade 12 at Dr. Lema High School in Rehoboth. So I'm really sorry for her. I didn't say anything. Maybe she got carried away when I said Namibians doesn't look like that. So because she associated her look with Ballotti, and maybe Ballotti is her subordinates, maybe that's why she stood up in defense of Ballotti. But I feel really, really sorry for her, because I'm part of the bastard community or coloreds, because my blood is there. My girlfriend, who is the mother, my ex-girlfriend, who is the mother of my son, my first son for that matter. Yeah. So I'm indebted to that community for the rest of my life.
What did you expect to be treated when you were schooling in Rehoboth by people whose complexion is slightly lighter than yours?
We had a very terrible experience coming from the black community. We have to push, because when we arrived, all the SRC members were colored or bastards. There was no black person. I have to open up a Nanso branch at Dr. Lema in 1994 and 95. Yeah. I was the leader of the Nanso branch there. We have to advocate, we have to pressure until we succeed in 1995. Actually 1994 for 1995 leadership the late, a very good friend of mine, the late Engelar Kahangoro, was elected as the first black child among the semi-black or colored people as SRC members.
Yeah.
We have to be the key of, we were all grade 12. The key of the dormitory, of the hostel, was in the hand of a colored guy.
Yeah.
So we have to be locked in the block after lunch until 5 o'clock when we are going for dinner.
Yeah.
So there was those type of oppression that only certain people will be able to identify that we are being oppressed. But we fought it until we open up and we free the other generations that join after us. And they could attest that, no, you guys, you had really helped us to free us from the domination of the colored community. But it's like, it was 95, it's only 5 years after independence. Yes. So you can understand the background.
Yes.
But we could survive with them within, we could go to club with them, we could go to spa, we buy things. So, but there were those elements that could behave like elements.
Elements, yeah. But isn't that the exact reason why? Because this thing cannot be perpetual. We can't say because we had racism in 1975, in 2026 it must continue, because we fought against that. We said as black people, that is not correct. That system is not correct. You have to treat people with dignity. Came independence, we seem to think that now is our time to reverse, to serve them with the same medicine. So if you had gone through what you have experienced in the Rehoboth, you didn't like it. Why do you want this to continue? Why don't you put an end to it by being a model citizen?
No, because the system is still not yet corrected.
Yeah.
The system is not yet corrected. The way white people are behaving, white people as we speak now, they have created home-based schools.
Yes.
Where they have removed their kids.
Because the level of education is degenerating.
You can't behave like a white man. It's not the level. They don't want their kids to be associated with ours. No, it's not the level of education. If we enter private school, how many kids have started at gymnasium? White people. How many white people started? So when they saw black people started to flock, black people started to afford, the number have reduced. No, all these private schools. Yes, it's what they are doing. Vetaruhe, that's why they created home-based schools.
No, your analysis is wrong. The people, I can tell you this, my brother. There are those schools that were really thriving all along, historically. Not because they are necessarily white, of course they happen to be white, but the standards were really, really high. Then we came in, we made some terrible decisions. The level of education today, we must agree on this principle, that it has degenerated a little bit. Education institutions are no longer producing the quality that they used to produce. With all this free education, and things are just, the standards have gone low. If I feel that my child is affected by this, I will make other arrangements. It's not because, I mean, go to St. George's and other places. There's a lot of black kids there. They are private schools, the parents pay, we are fine. But if you come in with regulations and say, no, now going forward things will be like this, and you feel that it's affecting your child, what must you do?
If you are part of us, at Namibian Sun here,
yes,
you must be part of correcting the system. You must be part of making wrong right. You must not run away. Where are you going to run away to? Let me tell you the phrase of Reiki music. Where are we going to run around to? The sea is boiling.
Yeah.
So where else? Now for them, they have a place to go and stay. It is better for them not to change the system, but to create their own personal Namibia,
yes,
where they can educate their own kids.
Yes.
Why can they not transform what they know, what they have experienced, to all of us so that we can benefit? Because we have been suffering from oppression. Most of the time, we have been fighting to be emancipated. So we did not have much of time to do research, to studies and those type of things, because we were trying to pull them away on top of us while they were busy making understudies of certain areas. So now is the time for them to come and say, this is what we know, this is what we can give it to you. But for them, they are drifting away from us.
No. Do you recognize, Vetaruhe, that right now, the black majorities are in charge of this country? They're in charge of policy, they're in charge of treasury, they're in charge of everything. But we are still acting as if the power lies with, the power is with you. The power is with me, as black majority people now. So even if a white person on paper wanted to change anything, in her minority, she doesn't have the power, the power of the numbers anymore. So you are strangled and you have to find other ways. But we're acting as if they are still in charge of policy and population, and therefore the decisions lie with them. It lies with us. So if things are not moving, it's us who are failing the country.
Choice. The power is with money. The power is with money. We don't control the bank. Banks are controlled by the white.
Why? The question is why.
Yeah.
How did the white man ascend to the controlling of a bank? For 35 years, we had, what is it, that thing that we had here?
SME bank. It collapsed.
Yes.
It's because of the ethics, our behavior, that white people also fail to educate us.
You are blaming the collapse of SME bank on white people.
Yes, because it's ethics. That was ethics. It's peer governance, it's peer behavior. Yes, everything
you can't be serious.
Yes.
You can't be putting white people in the firing line for that at all.
You cannot compare us 35 years for somebody who have been here for 60 years, governing, experiencing all the goods and the bads. Now, for us who have been only here for 35 years, you want us to turn the table and make it gold, while we're still undercovering many other issues, social issues, welfare issues, economic issues, industrial issues. We are still learning, we are still there. Because, and while we are doing this, they are also hiding certain information from us.
We are always just the victims here.
Because we have been a victim since 1800. We have inherited victimization.
Yeah, you are young, Vetaruhe. You are a young man. You are a new breed of leaders of our country in parliament and everywhere. You ought to be thinking differently. Why are you thinking like a guy from the 60s?
No, I have been brought up by a guy from the 60s. I have been taught of what happened.
Yeah.
And while the ruling parties is also singing Mambulu Jaimo Monamibia Shuneni Kumada. So that's a ruling party. I have been, when in 1989, when we were following SWAPO meetings, we were taught Pinara Food Seke Monamibia, and you can see after 35 years, I can remember the lyrics, the words, and I can interpret them. So that things have been installed by the system into me as a person. So it will take another years, but then we have to change the policy. We must feel it.
Yeah.
I can be in parliament, but it's not over. Parliament is not the ultimatum of freedom. Parliament is not the ultimation of not being landless, of not being land dispossessed. Parliament haven't even addressed the issue of genocide. As Namibia,
Yeah.
the Namibian government have taken over the responsibility of the predecessors' government that have done this to us. But there's no policy tailor-made to say why we have these Hereros and Nambas. What have we done to them?
For them.
For them. What have we done for them? Why we don't have a special program like the war veterans? Why we could create a war veteran program to restore their dignity? People that only went for liberation struggle in 1960. But for us, who have been carrying the wounds and being the victim since 1903 or 1904 up until 1989, we participated in the whole liberation struggle. But for us, we are not looked onto by the current administration. We have been regarded as everybody else. We have an affirmative action. We have women empowerment. We are the only tribe in Namibia that have started from zero because our land has been taken. You've been in Kalongo. Your ancestors, you know them where they have been staying. You are still there. But us, we are passing the land where our ancestors have been living.
Your point is correct, my brother.
You understand? So there are those traumas, there are those volcanic eruption that is coming from the stomach of Vetaruhe Kandorozu that is not yet addressed. And the person who is the mirror of the white people in parliament, it can be Pinar, it can be the clerk or whatever. So he must carry the punch. And then there's no a single white person who said, I have 20,000 hectares of land, let me give back 10,000 to the government, and please resettle the community of Hopapes Kanan, the Tamaras, the Namas that are there, so that they can live here. And we are here. We are making jokes on Tamara people. They are eating from the dustbin. They are at that dumping site. How do you call it? Kuffenberg or what is it? Kuverberg.
Yeah. You've run out of time, but I understand you.
Yes.
I understand.
But their land is here. We have taken over. This is where they used to get their groundnuts, their everything. And we have driven them and we never repair them.
I don't disagree with the approach that we've taken post-independence. But in closing, in one sentence, do you regret what you said to Dino Ballotti, and do you apologize, or are you a member of parliament who insists on violating the principles of our constitution?
I apologize. Let me use this opportunity in your 1 minute that I will apologize to Ballotti. I'll apologize to all the white people in Namibia who have been affected by my statement, and I feel very sorry. And I'm willing to promote nationhood, nation pride, wherever I'm given the opportunity.
Yeah, wonderful. Thank you for coming, my brother.
Thank you so much.
We're permanent.
Yeah.
That is Vetaruhe Kandorozu. He's a member of parliament representing Nudo in the National Assembly, sharing with us his own side of the story as far as that explosive confrontation in parliament last week is concerned. Thank you for watching.